Hey people, Winchard here. Welcome to the Elite League show. Back with the second round one matchup starting off on Greentooth Gorge. Say hello to my personal hero flying the flag for Nurgle. It's Redbeard. They Plague Champion, starts off range combat with a damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, some decent utility and support, can build turrets and repair, but is very slow. Up against, on the red side, is Don Fr33man with a Hive Tyrant, very durable hero, walks through objects and cannot be suppressed, powerful offense. Disruption and support, begins in melee combat with a basic synapse. I shall call him Pepe. East side is natural for Freeman, west side natural for Redbeard, and the Hive Tyrant lumbering towards the mid. Freeman, by the way, one of the players that elected to play random for the entirety of this league, which is why you saw him shout out nids in the chat there to Redbeard. Random players must let their opponent know what faction they've rolled in the first few seconds, since your starting build and capping order relies heavily on your opponent's faction and hero and that kind of thing. Just helps keep it less frustrating for the other player, let's say. A little bit fairer. You've got some Spore Mines up after the double termagants, and more Heretics for Redbeard after the CSM. Plague Champion here taking shots at some Garrison termagants, might now turn his attention to the Spore Mines. Not super efficient way to take them down, shooting them from range, but a Plague Champion fares better than most with his damage over time weapons, since he just needs to hit once for that to start ticking. Those guys, the Spore Mines, are tiny, so it's quite hard to hit them with ranged weapons. Ormagaunt's bashing this power node already. Here comes Pepe, getting in on the Plague Champion there, knocking him down with a special attack. Those fellas getting an aspiring champion, and they will engage. They are a threat to low-level heroes. Spore Mines coming in, though, might make them think twice about this fight. Yep, they're backing away. The Hive Tyrant got his rending talons. He would rip through those heretics, and of course use Seismic Roar to great effect. Warrior Brood now on the way for Freeman, and Ormagaunt's decapping these heretics, getting into a bad place. Doom Blast and retreat. Yeah, there we go. They'll be okay. Ormagaunt's would have made short work of them with termagant support there, I think. Plague Champion will take the garrison most likely. Yep, these guys will just back away. Ormagaunt's jumping around because they're under synapse, jumping over the gap there. They can sometimes get themselves stuck because they jump around when under synapse, and then when it goes, when a synapse creature dies or retreats, they can't jump out of wherever they got to. CSM now might be in trouble. Need to back away, even without support. It's a dicey engagement to try and take on Ormagaunt in melee. CSM are pretty good in melee, but that's a lot of attacks coming in, even without Adrenal Glands. Doom Blast support from the Heretics. These guys without an aspiring champion, though. Ormagaunts are persuaded to leave, and now Pepe, I think, is going to chase down these CSM. Nope, he's quite content eating heretics right now. There we go. Big chunk off that CSM model. And another. One more attack might do it. These guys are pretty low. Our special attack, though, misses. These guys should be okay now. They'll go for the garrison if they need to. 410 to 473 very early on with a single cap for Freeman. Where are those warriors at? Oh, they're capping the east side. Heretics took one look at them and ran the hell away. These guys start off as a power melee unit, another synapse creature as well. Can jump into combat. Quite dangerous early on, especially if they catch these heavily armoured CSM. Power melee damage doing 30% extra, I believe it is, to heavy infantry. We got some Raptors up. I think they will beat Raptors 1v1 pretty easily too. Especially if the Raptors get jumped on or knocked over. I think they will. Maybe we'll see. 30 DPS on these fellas. They suppress units when they land, and they might fight some Ormagaunts on this east side. And they're getting munched on. There we go. They turn to engage. Should be able to deal with them, but might drop a model if the Ormagaunts stay in, and they do not stay in. Heretics with an aspiring champion helping out, and this is a bad fight for the Warriors now. Leaping on the Raptors. They might try and get a model before they retreat here. This could be very dicey for the Warrior Brood. Look how much damage they're taking. Look how much damage the Raptors are taking, though. Raptors jumping out. Warriors do drop a model. I thought they were going to get away without a model loss there. If the Raptors stayed in a few seconds longer and then jumped on retreat, could have wiped that Warrior Brood. Meanwhile, west side, double termagants with Toxin Sat trying to bash some power here, while Pepe caps the VP. Not a whole lot CSM could do here. They're desperately looking for some cover and found a giant mushroom, which is apparently light cover. Plague Champion's there. Oh, with the heal from the Mucus Discharge Breath of Nurgle. CSM drop. And there's a Brood Nest to support these guys. Heretics coming in trying to take it out. Don't think they're going to be able to though. They're being shot to hell. There's Touch of Nurgle. Freeman responds with a crippling poison. Touch of Nurgle goes off. That's a global ability of the Plague Champion. Big heal, damage and knockback on Model Death. But as you can see, Freeman dealt with it very well, crippling that squad so they couldn't get in to use their Doom Blast effectively. Redbeard dropping those heretics and feeding quite a lot of XP to these termagants here. Struggling to deal with this. Double termagants and a Brood Nest is trouble early on, it turns out. Oh, hey, heretics. Did they wipe them out? No, they took some models off the Hormagaunts though. Here they are. And maybe the Warriors. Warriors dropping a model there. Where are the Raptors? Oh, Raptors also in retreat. They're probably all in that fight there that I missed. Because I'm good at casting games. Plague Champion in light cover. Trying to shoot down some termagants. It's his idea of quite a pleasant afternoon, I would think. Heals himself. I think it's a 110 heal, is it? 145. I don't know, I always think it's 110. Maybe it was 110 at some point. 398, 416. Heretics coming in for the flank on the termagants, but they are spotted and crippled. And maybe some grenade launchers would do some work here. He does have some more heretics up. Tier 2 now for Freeman, though. That's not good news. Raptor jump. Oh boy, big chunks. This guy have, yes, Ranged in Talons are up. Massive amounts of damage on those Raptors. 75 DPS melee. It's only regular melee damage, but heavy infantry does not have any resistance against that. So all of that 75 DPS is going in on these fellas' heads. And they are being terrorized by Pepe. Jumping after the termagants, doing some terrorizing of their own though. Almost got them down. A Doom Blast might have got another model there. Look at that. I think a Doom Blast might have finished them off there when those heretics came in. Hive Tyrant is getting low. Raptors will turn around and take a few hits. A few swings wasn't enough. Pepe gets away with 50 hit points. He's level 2. Plague Champion also level 2. And Redbeard, I think, is floating. Nope. Few power to go. Needs 125 to go tier 2. And he's on it. Triple cap, though, for Freeman. Hunting down some warriors here. Maybe, yes. Freeman's seen it. And spawns a Tyrant Guard. This is one of the new global abilities for the Hive Tyrant. Well, the new global abilities. You only got one. Pretty damn cool. Spawn that Tyrant Guard in your base instantly. It's quite expensive, but you pay for it. You pay for its instantaneous nature, I suppose. Warrior Brood getting their adrenal glands up, providing melee synapse buff to the Hormagaunts and pretty substantial buffs to themselves as well, as you can see. Touch of Nurgle though. And some more heretics on retreat. Can they get a model? 50% extra hit points helps survivability, it turns out. Not sure what that Doom Blast was for. Maybe just sheer frustration of not getting a model off those fellas. Full gen farm and 2 gens here for Redbeard, who is hitting tier 2 momentarily. Just to purchase something. Not sure what it was. Here's the Tyrant Guard, just hanging out on the central VP. Now moving up. Massive amount of hit points. Can charge and also go into shield wall mode, which makes it, gives it vehicle armor and regenerates itself. Might turn around and turn those heretics into paste. Here we go. Ouch. Taking a model per hit there. He's got like 90 odd heavy melee DPS with a splash. So pretty strong melee deterrent, that guy. Bloodletters on the field for Redbeard. Demons with power melee weapons that can teleport. They will do a hell of a lot of damage to a Tyrant Guard, but not sure if they can stand up to it long enough. Good pillory tower here. Freeman again locking down this west side. Plague Champion is moving across. Does he have any more war gear? Not that I can see. Nope. Raptors moving in with an aspiring champion. Some Nurgle worship to support. Look at the damage that the Tyrant Guard does. Munching on them. Knocks back the aspiring champion there, which is the biggest threat because of that power fist. Really going after that guy. Tyrant Guard is taking a hell of a lot of damage here, but down goes the aspiring champion and then charges away, forcing another purchase there. And here it is. 225, 410. Genestealer Brood on the field for some melee superiority for Freeman. These guys will happily tear apart Bloodletters, Raptors, whatever you want. Tyrant Guard is done for. Power Fist should be enough to out-damage that heal, I think. Yes, down it goes. And those Raptors got level 2. But here's some Genestealers and Hormagaunts in your retreat path, as well as an Angry Hive Tyrant, level 3, this guy. He's live to it and moves away. Jumps to Termagants. Suppressed on the second little leap, as you saw there. You don't have to hit that first jump to get the suppression. You can do it on the, because it keeps pumping. They do that second little jump usually. 197, 410. Touch of Nurgle. Good tool to use against Genestealers. Sends them running, but Freeman gets the VP again. Double cap now. Redbeard struggling to look after this. Maybe some Havocs on the field, hey? We got more Genestealers up for Freeman. Definitely look at some Havocs, I think. Lost Termagants and lost Hormagaunts though as Freeman. 169 to 410. And yet more Genestealers. I'd say get some Havocs, maybe a melee Dreadnought if you can do it. Struggling for resources right now, the Redbeard. Power got bashed. Things are getting decapped elsewhere. Can't always get the counters you want. Here are some Bloodletters though. Adrenal Rush on those Genestealers. They should get dealt with there yet. Having to retreat off. Plague Champion could also get his Bile Spewer to slow down enemy melee. Pretty damn effective if you're good at aiming that bilious discharge, I find. West side for the CSM capping, getting their aspiring champion. More Genestealer versus Bloodletter action. Those guys phasing out of existence now, allowing the Plague Champion to do a little bit of damage with his bolt up. Here comes some warriors. And there's a jump. Touch of Nurgle. Is it ready to use? Yes, it is. Genestealers are getting smashed up here. Might be able to get him. Can those guys jump again? They're going to try to. Looks like he just aimed that incorrectly. Couldn't quite finish him off, but that's a lot of reinforcing for Freeman to do. That was a seismic roar there you just saw. 147, 354. Redbeard up against it here on VPs. But you can turn the tide relatively quickly against Tyranids. A couple of those Synapse bombs. A couple of good fights. Bloodletter's doing a good job so far. But they can't take on Genestealers. Or can they? Doing a pretty good job here. Adrenal Rush is up. Touch of Nurgle on the Bloodletters. I think the Genestealers would have taken that fight if it was 1v1, but Touch of Nurgle really changed things there, as you would expect. Now they're capping. Raptors also capping. What's going on west side? More Genestealers this time in on some poor Chaos Space Marines. They're going to get torn to shreds, and they do. Wiped out there. Redbeard has no resources to respond. Raptors don't want to take this fight, having to back away. 136, 344. There's a Nurgle Shrine. Periodically heals nearby allied infantry and also suppresses enemy infantry, and if you worship it, that happens more often, and you can reinforce off it. Pretty awesome shrine, that thing. They won that, but a raptor did drop, and here comes another Tyrant Guard. Not sure if it was called in or purchased. I think it was called in. 130 to 343, 2 to 1 here for Freeman. Trying to push through and get this win. Raptors having to jump away. Mid is going to turn red. What is this? Warrior Brood hanging out there. There's some heretics retaking the west side. Plague Champion always gone for his Plague Fist. I'm not sure if that was a good choice. Yeah, you can stun the G-Stealers, but you're also giving them tons of range resistance. And I'm not sure if your Raptors and Heretics and Bloodletters will do damage fast enough to take advantage of that stun. But we shall see. It's not cheap as well. It's 50 power for that thing. I think a Bile Spear would have been better. Some Havocs. Some more range stuff to shoot them down while they're slowed. And suppressed. Bloodletter's in on the Hive Tyrant, but he will fight him with his Rending Talons. Level 5, that guy. Tyrant Guard, too much to deal with for those Raptors, I think. Oh, charges away, but here comes 3 G-Stealer Broods. Noxious Cloud put down. Raptors jumping in just to get the suppression, and Noxious Cloud scares at least some of them off. You have to move this thing manually. A little bit more pressure on your attention and your micro. Touch of Nurgle going off on the Heretics, but they will wipe it. You saw Touch of Nurgle did not go off on that model because it can only go off once every 3 seconds. GG, says Freeman. Tried to win it there with a last hurrah of globals. But Freeman, with the victory. Triple G-Stealers here. A couple of Tyrant Guard. Full on melee. And the Plague Champion is pretty good at combating melee. Just couldn't deal with it all. Havocs would have helped, I think. But it's easy to say that. What did we have? Level 4 Plague Champion and level 6 Hive Tyrant. Freeman gets a win on the board. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Hey people, Injured here, welcome back to what is game 2 of this round 1 matchup in the Elite League. This is Quest Heresy, and Redbeard has found himself a Tech Marine. Starts off range combat, puts out some good damage, can also support with structures and repair. We've got some Blood Ravens, nothing bad ever happened to these guys, right? And Freeman has random rolled another Hive Tyrant. Pepe is back. Tactical Marines hitting the field, they'll most likely go for the natural VP here. With everything else kind of converging on the mid, and that's going to favour the Tyranids, of course. More scouts for Redbeard. Most likely at least one of those fellas with shotguns. Would be nice to see double snipers up to pop some warriors, though. Here's the second Termagant Brood. Do we see Spore Mines again from Freeman? We do not. Not nearly as effective when there's very quick scouts and tactical marines around, as opposed to heretics like the last match. I don't think, yeah, these Termagants can't see that Tech Marine there. Could have got some free damage since he's not facing them. They are going to see these Tactical Marines, though, as they come to try and get their wreck point. It's going to kick off here, and it's not going to be good, I don't think, for Redbeard. Shotguns need to be coming in now, and they're not. Doesn't have the power, I don't think. I think he does have the power. There's the shotgun purchase. A little bit late, but we'll see if it makes an impact on that engagement. Redbeard did not get his Tech Marine moving. Getting tied up by Pepe there. Formagaunts are going to eat some shotguns. There we go. There's the blast. Knockback and suppression. But wow, those scouts dropped 2 models, and the other fellas also persuaded to leave. Marines here closing for combat. Redbeard questioning the fact that Freeman is a Hive Tyrant again. Are you allowed to random the same hero twice? I guess you must be able to, because this game stood. Warriors on the way for Freeman. We're now fan out and cap. Redbeard needs to find a way back in. Redbeard there asking Adilla, the organizer of the Elite League, and Adilla can't respond to him in game because he can't. Referees were removed for whatever reason by Relic when they moved the game over to battle servers. I guess he's going to respond to him over Steam. But either way, I guess it is allowed. Pepe's back. He's breaking everything. Checkmate's going to take some shots at him. There we go. Does some good damage with his default bolt up. Peel off some Termagants and Hormagaunts pretty quickly, I think. Double cap there for Freeman. Some Devastators now for Redbeard. I think it was missing Havocs in the first game against all those Gene Stealers that we saw. Where's that Warrior Brood? There he is capping. They too act as a detector, so they will spot those scouts if they start sneaking around. Do we have double shotguns? We don't, so I think we should. Big fan of double shotguns. Not saying it's super easy to use, but you can really lock down a unit with it, deal a lot of damage and set things up. Allow Tactical Marine Flamers to do their work and that kind of thing. And look at those shotguns ripping through those Hormagaunts there. Have two of them running around. Devastator's moving up. We can get a nice flank on these Termagants. Hive Tyrant allowed to get way too close to those shotgun scouts, I think, although they were also taking damage from the Termagants, of course. There's that Devastator doing its thing. Can the Warriors find a way around that firing arc and get in there? Almost. They're trying to. Pepe gets away. Took a lot of damage. Warriors did not want to risk losing a model there. And Freeman has to retreat out. Redbeard now has the Master Crafted Bolter. Almost 38 piercing DPS with a high-powered shot ability, which is pretty cool. Big chunk of damage, as you can see, and it suppresses them. Devastators on capping duty. Scouts heading towards the southeast. Oh hey, we have the extended carapace to try and charge the Devastators. Might want to stick around and heal up a little bit more, but he's off. Pepe's live. He's fine with half health, apparently. These fellas have a sergeant and thus a frag grenade. Devastators move up, which was the right move. Can they set up in time? They can, but they're not firing on the Warriors there. Big misplay by Redbeard. Should have targeted the Warriors specifically. I'm not sure how they choose targets. You would think they'd go for the closest infantry target, but I guess not. They were trying to hit those Termagants there. Missing the giant aliens right in front of them. And now the Termagants can power bash. Scouts might get eaten by Pepe. No, he's going for the VP. Brood Nest up to support this power bash here. Global ability of the Hive Tyrant allows all these fellas to reinforce off it and get a little bit of health regen too. Double Toxin Sacs is up. There's that green hexagon of health regen. Devastator should be able to deal with this. Tech Marine moving up too. Shotguns are in play. Can the Warriors get around the back maybe? Oh hey, Vengeance rounds up. Advanced targeting. Brood Nest is taken care of. Now he can push forward. Gotta be careful about these Hormagaunts coming around the corner though. They have adrenal glands, so they will munch on Tactical Marines pretty effectively. Devastator's taking a risk to move up. Hormagaunts could have got in there, although shotguns would have been around, as well as the high-powered shot, of course. So probably not worth the risk to give up the cap. Hive Tyrant has found some scouts. Devastator's shooting upon the Hormagaunts at close range there. That was pretty painful for a few seconds. These guys trying to move up for a grenade, I think. I don't think they can get in. Can't really get into a great position quickly enough. Double grenades, though. That could be a thing. Freeman goes tier 2. Redbeard gets out and caps. Warriors on the prowl though. Devastators are there. Grenade just used to deter them long enough for the Devastator to set up. Nicely done. And now they're capping. Under fire. Oh, these fellas are. Man, double termagants with toxin sacks. Painful in tier 1. These guys haven't even leveled yet. They are behind heavy cover, but I don't think that fella is, and he goes down. Cover is a per model deal. Can't always trust the cover indicator on top of a unit. Got to look at your individuals. Hive Tyrant's going to charge in. Extended Carapace is up. And it's a pretty damn good charge. Man, that's a lot of damage. If he had Rending Talons, he might have finished him off there. Tech Marine hits level 2. Can I select him, please? Maybe not. There we go. Up to 661 hit points. 416 to 408. Slight VP lead for Redbeard. Now getting power bashed again, but Tactical Marines are there. Another Brood Nest up from Freeman. Just pump those things out. I think they are... Is it 100 red or 75 now or something? I know it was 100 at some point, but I seem to recall it getting reduced, and the health regen and range of the Brood Nest also getting reduced. But I could be wrong. Devastators will need to very carefully move up here. Scouts getting caught by mass termagant fire, which, as you can see, makes short work of those guys. They lost so much health there. I wonder if it's worth the Tech Marine getting Bionics up for situations like that where Hormagaunts get in and he can't quite get that high-powered shot off fast enough. Might see a nasty retreat grenade here, or maybe on these Hormagaunts as they run in. Nope, goes for the shotgun blast. Now doesn't have the energy to throw the grenade, but doesn't need to. Tactical Marines forcing close combat on retreat, getting a termagant model or two. And now they've got a zone throat to deal with. They have no jump troops, no snipers. Not going to be easy. Big chunks coming off those Tactical Marines if that zone throat hits all 3 models. Got rid of it there. I say it's not going to be easy to deal with. And he instantly deals with it with some Tactical Marine melee. Never underestimate power armored elbows. Pepe gets away. Our Crushing Claw is coming up. Going to be very painful. Adrenal Gland Warriors. They're going to be buffing these Hormagaunts now. 1-to-1 cap. VP lead for Redbeard. Dropped the first game, so we'll definitely want to pick this one up. Although we'll have another chance. It's best of 5, remember. Are the scouts going to drop a model? Maybe. And they retreat so fast. Hormagaunts with a crazy teleporting leap there. Switch targets halfway through a leap. It can do some weird stuff. Oh boy. They munched through those Devastators. Almost got them. Warriors dropped a model and a bunch of hit points. Not sure why. Marines and the Tech Marine, I guess. 401348. Doesn't feel like Redbeard has any... Can't really stabilize out in the field. As soon as Freeman gets back on, kind of brushes Redbeard aside somewhat. And now, you've got this to deal with. As well as a shielded warp field Hive Tyrant right now. Dreadnought is coming up. That could be a massive deal. Warrior Brood cannot get their Thorax Swarm with Adrenal Glands, although the Zone Throat will be able to warp blast it from range. Hive Tyrant can do damage, but doesn't really want to fight a Dreadnought. Maybe with the shield up, he'll fare a little bit better. I don't know why these scouts are so far back here. Waiting for something. The Dreadnought, I suppose. It's a long wait, though. Freeman needs to be capping right now. So the Hormagaunts are going to go and grab the VP over in the southeast. Brood Nest is up behind the shot blocker. The Dreadnought can walk through these walls, though. And here it is. Going to try and get into some melee with some aliens. We have Sergeant for the Tactical Marines as well. Hive Tyrant's going to go after them. He's going to run into the Dreadnought. And we'll see if Pepe keeps going. Warp field is up. Dreadnought taking massive chunks off the shield, and now the Devastator's digging into it. Retreats off. Dreadnought had the desired effect for Redbeard. Make everything run away, and then bash the brood nest. Warrior Brood also being persuaded to leave. Scouts helping the brood nest down. He needs to cap fast. Oh my god, so they're just going to hang out over here, are they? Why not? Venom Brood from Freeman to try to shoot down this Dreadnought. Drop pod called in on the Tech Marine's face, and some Tactical Marines get out. Sorry, boss. Signum armor could be pretty good against the Hive Tyrant himself to try and get that guy out of the fight, because he's invested a lot in this guy, has Freeman, and he's pretty damn powerful. Getting him out of there quickly could be a big deal in these coming fights. Devastator's setting up. Termagants aren't going to like this. Hive Tyrant might try to charge him down. There it is. Knocking down all of those Tyranids along the way. Pepe gets in. We'll now get to work. 2 hits and they're down. But the Dreadnought's on him. Can't stay in there too long. Venom Brood are getting shots. Pepe's got to be careful here. Might go down. One more hit might do it. No, gets away, I think. He does go down. Got flamed to death at the end, I believe. Devastator's all set up with a single model lugging around that heavy bolter. Venom Brood now trying to flee the angry Dreadnought, who obviously wants to tie them up. That is Blessing of the Omnissiah repairing the Dreadnought there. Focus Warp Blast didn't seem to do any damage. Did it hit? Maybe it did. 305, 302. Very even on VPs. A single cap fear for Redbeard. This Dreadnought doing wonders. Doing wonders. And now goes some Hormagaunts there. And those are upgraded Hormagaunts. You have Plasma Gun Tactical Marines. These fellas, oh, they're not Stern Guard. They're level 3. Maybe he doesn't want to lose those levels by making them Stern Guard veterans. Tyrant Guard on the field. Called in from the global bar of the Hive Tyrant. Zone throw with a solid hit on the scouts. Hive Tyrant needs to lead the line here. Maybe charge down those Devastators again. Oh, the Devastators were not targeting him there. A couple of times we've seen that. Redbeard not quite getting that Hive Tyrant when he could with those Devastators that he closes in. Didn't even need to charge there. Lost a lot of his shield though. Level 3 Tech Marine. Freeman gets the cap. Map looking very blue. Redbeard has done well to turn this around. Now has a Tyrant Guard to deal with, but does have a Plasma Gun somewhere. Where is it? These fellas have it. Scouts now capping. Tyrant Guard. Oh, was that a charge? Or was just a melee charge? Wasn't his charge ability. Drop pod dealt with. Zone Throat getting shots, and here comes a Dreadnought. It is repaired. But this might not be a great fight. Tyrant Guard doing damage. Venom Brood doing damage. Zone Throat doing damage. And that Dreadnought is taking some hits. That was not a good fight to walk into. Needed to back away as soon as he saw the Venom Brood getting shots in, I think. The Dreadnought will live, I believe. Another Blessing of the Omnissiah to help that guy out. Hive Tyrant took a ton of damage from the Devastators, but does get in. And kills one. He's now level 3. Racking up the kills with these Crushing Claws. 2-to-1 cap. Redbeard could not hold the line against the Tyranids. That Hive Tyrant is the key. He's the one that's charging down the Devastators. Get some Signum. Shoot that guy down. And he can try and get the Tyrant Guard stuck in his shield wall as he tries to escape afterwards. And if he doesn't charge in ahead of the Tyrant Guard, just target the Tyrant Guard, I guess. Brood Nest up again. Is that the 4th one or something? 305 to 210. He's got biomass to spend. Why not spend it? Power Bash and Venom Brood. Can they level up off it? They do have range synapse, buffing the termagants. If they're close enough, that is. What's this? Just some scouts hanging out. We can decap this fellas, maybe. Maybe they're waiting for the fight to kick off and then flank in with some grenades and stuff. Grenade over the wall on Warrior Brood, but they tanked it. They tanked a frag grenade. What does Redbeard do here? It's hard for him to be aggressive, because being aggressive means running your Dreadnought in first, which is going to take so much damage on approach. But Freeman doesn't really have the incentive to push in here and charge or anything. Scouts trying to get in, do some work, taking shots though as they do so, and off they go. Dreadnought will get through the wall. That's a way to approach. Use the wall. Double zone throats though are in play. There's the Emperor's Fist. We have marked target on the Hive Tyrant. There is Signal Armor. 261 to 210. Dreadnought may not survive this fight. Tech Marines off the field. Oh, Venom Brood are off the field. Maybe the Dreadnought will live. Warrior Brood are on him. Hive Tyrant's now on him. And the Tyrant Guard, I think, is trying to get in there, is he? Warrior Brood are wiped out. Dreadnought will go down, but caused a hell of a lot of carnage there. 54 red if they're taking out a Dreadnought. 245 to 210 now. Those Devastators weren't doing a whole lot. They need to come forward a little bit more to this gap here. Yeah, that's a tough fight for Redbeard. Nice idea coming through the wall, but they couldn't quite follow it up. I mean, if you had grenades there, but the scouts are off the field, if those Devastators moved out a little bit more, could have made a big difference. But as it stands, everything, I think, got away for Freeman. Double Zone Throats is still alive. The Tyrant God is now healing up. The Hive Tyrant didn't go down. In fact, he's busy harassing. Levels up again to 4 now. Kills a scout. Termagant's trying to outshoot double tactical marines. It's not going to work out well for him. But they stood their ground for a while. Tier 3 for Freeman. VPs are evened up, but there's the 2-to-1 now ticking down. Uh-oh. Marines getting caught. Tyrant Guard ripping through him. It's almost leveled already, this fight, fella. Yeah, Tactical Marines just unable to stand in these fights. If anything gets close to them, they is out of there. Assault Marines might be it. He might need to get Assault Marines up. Looks like he's going... No, another Dreadnought it is. Another Dreadnought it is. I mean, jumping Assault Marines in sounds like suicide, and it might be suicide. You need to be very, very careful jumping him into a Crushing Claw Hive Tyrant and a Tyrant Guard, but you'll wait. The trick would be to wait until one of these guys goes after some other target, and then you jump the double Termagants and the Zone Throats, disrupt them, do all sorts of nasty things. But as usual, much easier said than done. The Tech Marine goes down on retreat there from the Tyrant Guard. Triple cap for Freeman. This could be the game here. The Dreadnought is coming up. But I think we're going to see the same outcome with that guy. He might go for the Assault Cannon for a nice big barrage. Zone Throats getting shot down very quickly by those Tactical Marines. That was pretty close, actually. They both have plasma guns? They do. Here's that Dreadnought. Eternally ready to smash some Xenos. Zone Throats are off the field. Venom Brood are also off the field, so Dreadnought will have some respite. The Hive Tyrant just hanging out, puts his shield up to annoy some scouts. Those guys need to cap. Look at the map now, very, very red. Last throw of the dice, I feel like, for Redbeard here. Devastators are not going to set up in time. Nice charge again from the Hive Tyrant. Dreadnought's coming in. Tyrant Guard very slowly trying to move into support here. Out of Synapse range, that guy is very slow. Hive Tyrant, I think, lives. Pepe gets away. What is he now? Still level 4. Zoanthropes now doing their focus warp blasts. Maybe. Did that guy get it off? I think he did. I think they both hit. Tyrant Guard gets into the back lines, but a Dreadnought is on him, 59 to 210. Don't think the Tyrant Guard's going to get away here. We'll see how quickly the Zoanthropes can come into support. He's chomping through some Marines though, almost finishes them. In fact, does finish off that squad. I think that's worth the Tyrant Guard loss there. 48 to 210. Redbeard desperate to get some kills on some Synapse creatures, can't quite manage it. Swarmlord on the way for Freeman. Oh well. We might not get to see this guy in action. Looks like Freeman's going to take the second game here. Redbeard has no resources to respond really, has tons of red, but isn't in tier 3. So we're not going to see a nuke. Here's that Swarmlord. Every bit as mean as it looks. How many bone swords? 4, please. I'll have 4 bone swords, if you're asking. Is what he said. 22 to 210. Running out of VPs and running out of time is Redbeard. Going after that southeast VP. Stops the timer there. 1-to-1 cap now. Here comes a whole bunch of Tyranids with a Swarmlord backing them up. Swarmlord does not care about your walls. And there's the concede from Redbeard. I think as soon as he saw this Swarmlord, he was like, okay, this is over. We had a level 4 Tech Marine Plasma Gun at the end, and a level 4 Hive Tyrant, and that's the second game for Freeman. 2-0 up in this matchup, and I'll see you in the third game, guys. Hey people, Injured here, back with Game 3 of this Round 1 Elite League matchup. This is Leviathan Hive, and Redbeard is rocking a Commander Knob. Infiltrating Commander that shoots you, stabs you, and blows you up. Orky style begins range combat with a Twin Link Shooter. Up against Freeman with a Chaos Sorcerer this time. Awesome battlefield manipulation with some strong offense too. Begins in melee combat, some Black Legion over here. Leviathan Hive, that really long one. Usually whoever controls the south here does pretty well. 2 VPs to harass. And cap. And then you can flank inwards to the mid and stuff, do some nasty things. Well, 4 Heretic opening for Freeman. If you can get the shotgun up in tier 2, gonna have a hell of a lot of fun this knob. Sorcerer's got a lot of heretics to consume for his endless doom bolts. We're going to see one here. Here it is. Got behind a little bit of cover there, maybe halfway through, which stopped it being horrifying, but it was still pretty bad. Doom bolts is painful early game. Now gets into melee, misses the special attack though. Trying to be fancy, Mr. Sorcerer. Just whack him. There we go. I've always thought the Sorcerer's melee attacks were pretty weird. That one there, where he kind of stabs upwards. I don't think people use a sword like that, buddy. There's a consume. Get some energy back, and I think some hit points, maybe. At some point he got hit points back. Doom bolts again. Painful. How much damage did he alone do in that engagement because of the 3 Doom Bolts he used? Commando pushes up and caps that natural victory point of Freeman. Are we going to need some looters here from Redbeard to combat all of these melee heretics? Maybe we'll just see a Pain Boy to support the sluggers through these fights. Not going to be easy though. Here comes another Doom Blast. Shooters doing their best to dack at everything. Another Doom Blast there misses. They're going to want their big... Oh, there we go. Big shooters already up. And yet more Dakka. They will melt some heretics if given the opportunity. Doom Bolts again comes flying in. That time avoided a lot better. 483 to 472 very early on. Some noise marines now for Freeman. And shut down those shooters. Did a lot of damage to the sluggers too. Mr. Commando got his knife up. Looking for some stuff to stab. And he's found them over here. Smack. Smack. He just smacks you with his gun. Sure. There's that tripper shot. Tore through a few of them there. How many did he get? 3. There's the 4th. Redbeard still doesn't have another unit on the field. Oh, he's got better combat kit. I wonder where the hell his power went there. Now decapping this again, we might see the Commando try and stick around his VP as much as possible. Gets the double cap, does Redbeard. But now has to deal with a horde of heretics and noise marines. And of course this guy, this sorcerer over here. I've only seen one of his tricks so far, which is shooting Doom Bolts at your necks. And then consuming and doing it again. Hidden sluggers moving in. So many heretics there though. Is this wise? These guys have their burners up, but now they get set upon by triple heretics. Are they even going to get out? No. Nice idea, but that was the wrong gang of stuff to run into. Expected the heretics to push up and go after the shooters maybe, but they still would have been in for a very, very dicey retreat there. Now trying to chop up the sorcerer. More Doom Bolts. 479, 405. You can't engage that without like Pain Boy support, or at least Mech Boy support or something. He's getting some looters up. I think they should have come up a little bit earlier, but we are going to see him. This Commander really needs to put some work in now. Spent a bunch of power on him. He's done well already. Almost level 3. Can he keep it up? Oh, the noise marines actually dropped a model and they didn't hang around long enough to reinforce it. Here's all the Dakka. Need to be careful though. This Sonic Blaster is painful and also shuts down ranged weaponry and ranged attacks. Does it stop a Doom Bolts if you were fighting a sorcerer? I bet it would. It stops grenades and stuff. Here are those looters with their awesome looking death gun. And some goggles, because, you know, safety first when you're an orc. Looks like we're going to see Freeman expand down the south, go after this VP now. Commando is being sneaky, and there are not any aspiring champions that I can see. I think one of them had it. Where are you? It was you. So they could spot the Commando, but they're nowhere near him. Power bashed some Zinchian worship to infiltrate. Commando was persuaded to leave, and here comes some more shooter boys. Tier 2 though for Freeman. It's a very quick tier 2. Looters are hanging out and covering that VP there. Heretics on capping duty. Don't think you can engage with just your double shooters. You suppress one heretic, you suppress another heretic, and then what? You eat Doom Bolts and then you eat some Sonic Blaster fire. There's the Doom Bolts. Here comes the Sonic Blaster. They did get the Sorcerer out of there. Heretics are not really around to threaten. Commando on the prowl. What's he going to do though? Tripper shot the Noise Marines maybe? Oh, there's a Doom Blast on his face. Now he can't get around to do his stuff. Cacophony knocks him over. Heretics in amongst some shooter boys. Not where those boys want to be. Almost took out that squad. In fact, they got down to one model, those shooters. Leveling to 2, Vestments of Warp, allowing him to teleport. It's going to be a bad day for these shooters, perhaps. Nope, goes after the looters instead. Not sure how much DPS the Sorcerer does by default with his melee weapon. Doom bolts flying out again. But it is dealt with, and now won't be in this coming fight, which could be a big deal. Because the Commando's doing well in these fights, but there's a Blood Crusher. Charging in, knowing that there's no real threat to this guy. Doesn't need to save the charge to get away, and that engagement turns around pretty quickly at the sight of this thing. Has vehicle armor, which is why Redbeard couldn't really respond to it. There's a fair chunk of damage too now going after some gens. We do have Heretic support here to worship, and the Sonic Blaster to shake apart the generators even quicker. What is this though? Some shooters got onto Freeman's natural VP. Sorcerer's not going to be happy with this. Don't think it's part of his plan. Maybe everything's part of his plan. Teleports in there. Don't think he had the energy to fire out his Doom bolts. Maybe he did. Want to get in up close and personal to the shooter boys. Oh, we have tank busters, infiltrated tank busters by Hide the Boys. One of the Commando's globals. We saw it on the sluggers earlier. Here we go. Big chunk of health. But for how long? Got tied up immediately and shut down by the Sonic Blaster. Now switches targets knowing that they are tied up. Noise Marine's got very low there. Blood Crusher switches target. Another big hit from those tank busters. They really do pack a punch, those guys. 420 to 272. Double cap. Almost whacked him out there, the Blood Crusher. Might have been able to chase them into base and finish them off, in fact. Freeman, of course, here looking for the win to tie up this match 3-0 and go into the quarterfinals. Some bloodletters now. That is bad news for Redbeard. Those guys can teleport in, tie up whoever the hell they want, and there's nothing Redbeard could do about it, really. Now has an Orky shotgun and just evaporates some heretics there. The special shooter is pretty special indeed. We have also got booby traps. I'm not sure why he wasn't taking a shot there. Strangely jittering around. There's his stun bomb. Stuns himself. Typical Orc play. And can't quite get away. Those guys would see him if he tried to infiltrate. But here's some Dakar. Dakar solves a lot of problems in this game. Tank Busters trying to get shots again. Looters might want to edge forward here. But the Bloodletter's going to change this fight again. Redbeard will have to adapt. There's the teleport, and those guys know that some pretty angry melee demons are on their way with their Hellblades. Power is bashed. This one is bashed but not uncapped. Double cap here for Freeman. It's hard for Redbeard to fight all this. There's a lot of threats he's got to deal with. Still has 3 squads of heretics running around trying to get into melee. He's got Noise Marines to try and tie up. Now they have a Blast Master, so an artillery piece to try and deal with. He's got a vehicle and some jump troops. Death Dread. That will solve some of those problems. Can fight the Bloodletters, that's for sure. Will also fight the Blood Crusher pretty well. And of course, make mincemeat of the heretics. Bloodletters teleporting on the looters though. Might need to try and babysit those guys with the commando. Good shotgun blast. 276 to 272. Triple cap now for Freeman. Can this Death Dread pull this around? What is this? Some depleted heretics on the run around. There's that passive knockback chance from the special shooter. Triple still. Consume and the Doom Bolts. And more pain for those shooter boys. Death Dread on the march. Does have the burners and bits. Infiltrated bloodletters. They're going to teleport on the looters, are they? No, they're just going to run in. It's the sorcerer that teleports on the looters. Over here, though, Death Dread gets in on the Blood Crusher with Tank Buster support, and down it goes. One threat dealt with. And now the Freeman has to respond to this threat. Can't rely on Blastmaster shots to take it down. No way. He's in tier 3 though. So isn't that far away from a Chaos Predator. Which is a pretty good counter to a Death Dread. More power bashing over here. Contested VP is... well, it was being capped, but Dark Flames burned those shooter boys to death. 158 to 272 double cap hit. War truck on the way for Redbeard. Not a bad choice, gives him sustainability in his fights. Can also duck his looters in there when they get jumped and that kind of thing. You have Plague Marines on the way for Freeman. Try and shoot down this Death Dread. Nothing on the field can repair this guy. No sluggers, no mech boy. 124 to 272. Some Zinchian worship. Tank busters don't really have an obvious target now, but they can still disrupt with their barrage and that kind of thing. Now being tied up. Disruption though from that shotgun is pretty damn good. What the hell are you shooting at, fellas? Oh, over it. Death Dread was trying to burn down some gens, has now found some Noise Marines. Oh, I couldn't get a model there. Taking shots though from Plague Marines, might not be able to get away now. Don't think it is. Those snaring missile launcher hits and Bloodletters, despite not having a heavy melee weapon, will still do some damage to the Death Dread. One more shot might do it. And there it is. Down it goes. Triple cap for Redbeard. I'm not sure how long that's going to last now. Has a war truck. Here it is. Would need some pretty damn good usage of this thing to see out this victory though, I think. Can't really get anything else on the field right now. Level 5 Commando, he has done well with his loadouts. Just couldn't quite respond to threats quickly enough and put it all together to stop Bloodletters getting into his lines, to stop this guy doing his thing. Don't think he got the Commando on this guy enough with his tripper shot and that kind of thing. When he had his knife. Uh-oh. War truck takes a rear armor hit. That wasn't good. Might go down here. Can they get in range? Maybe. There it is. Down it goes. And that could be GG. Could be GG. 124 to 192. Redbeard is getting his natural back and does have to contest it. He's going to get a 2 to 1 here, I think. Maybe. Sorcerer's on them. Level 3 with his default melee weapon. Those Doom Bolts have done some work. Shooter boy's getting a knob leader. These fellas don't have them. Got some sluggers on the field. Too late to repair the war truck. Plague Marines actually dropping a model to the shooters there. Take a lot of damage from piercing weapons. Some heretics died at some point, but that always happens. Oh, these guys are spotting the booby trap. But I don't think Freeman himself did, and those guys almost wiped. So much resources for Freeman. Saving up for something big. Tank Buster Barrage, and Sluggers getting in with their Knob Leader. Don't have burners, but they will be a huge threat in melee now. Is it big enough of a threat to fight Bloodletters though? I'm not sure. These guys level 2. Freeman is going to get a 2-to-1 at least, maybe even a triple. Yeah, I think the triple's up. And a power bash. Look at this. Not done yet. Freeman, I feel like, could have ended this with the Cursed Predator. These guys are in melee for some reason. Orcs do love their melee fights. Level 6 Commando. Doom bolts largely dodged. Here comes some Sluggers. Might have been able to go around and do some work, but they're coming in from the front. Might eat a Blastmaster shot to the face though. There it is. Oh, some friendly fire from the Blastmaster there. Chaos Terminators coming in from Freeman. Which is bad news for Redbeard, as you might expect. Stick Bombers on the way. Sluggers doing a good job against the Bloodletters there. Getting them off the field. Now trying to chop up a Sorcerer. Can't believe 3 of the Heretic squads are still around. Where are the Terminators? Here they are. Combi Bolters and Power Fists. Bad news for these little orcs. See some of that demoralizing effect from the Terminator kills there. Sluggers are getting their burners. And Terminators use their teleport to cap, so they could get caught by like a commando stun and not be able to get out of there. Dark Flames again. That's so painful. Does dodge it, but still. He's still on fire. Even if you're not standing in the embers. 124 to 60. 1-to-1 cap. Redbeard with a VP lead here. Done really well to hold on. Now Sluggers go down though. And now Terminators are picking apart some Tank Busters. Or are they? There we go. And there is a concede from Redbeard. Freeman takes the game 3-0 and takes the match. And we'll go to the quarterfinals. Congratulations. Good effort though from Redbeard. This Commando was pretty awesome. Got level 7. And we had a level 5 Sorcerer from Freeman. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next round 1 match.